meeting with President Bush.
He was here to give us comfort that the package should take a hold and start. We'll see some results from that soon, as well as to hear what is happening in the community, to validate what he's heard.
Everybody that was in the meeting, I think, reinforced to him that we were seeing a lot of problems in the community and a lot of fear in the community and lack of confidence. And so that the bill very much was needed to kind of calm everybody down and help us through this situation.
That was Kenneth Sayes of Sayes Office Supplies and Blake Shotland of Red River Bank that we just heard from. They were just 2 of the 9 people handpicked by the White House from Central Louisiana's local business to be part of today's meeting. All
of them are members of the Central Louisiana Chamber of Commerce that asked President Bush to come down and visit Main Street. Sometimes if he asked, the answer is yes. He did. When the president comes to town, it's no small operation to get him where he needs to be. News
Channel 5's Joel Massey has more with some folks who came downtown to get a glimpse of the president.
When Lisa Stewart of Pineville heard that President Bush was coming to town, she wanted to take her 3-year-old son to see him.
And we just wanted to come because we think it's just an honor to have the president come to Alexandria today, and thought it'd be great to have my little boy to come and be able to experience something like that.
Nick Carosa Jr. feels that the president has gotten a bad rap.
He's the face of our nation. So when it's good, the president gets all the accolades, and when it's bad, he gets all the dumping on. So I just think it's wonderful that he's coming here, and we have the opportunity for him to see, you know, middle America, Southern hospitality, and see how the economy is supposed to be run.
The president was in Alexandria to address the economic crisis with the Central Louisiana Chamber of Commerce.
If I felt that the crisis could be contained in Wall Street, then I'd have taken a different course of action. But the crisis that is gripping this country, and still has a grip on this country, affects the people around this table.
For about 2 hours, the president had a private meeting with local industry leaders and bankers. In Alexandria, Joel Massey, News Channel 5.
It wasn't all business for the president. He took some time out to honor a local woman for her volunteer service. Marion Harrison got a chance to meet with the president shortly after his arrival at AEX, where he awarded her the President's Volunteer Service Award.
Harrison was honored for her 12,000 hours of service at the VA Medical Center. She began volunteering 11 years ago while her husband was receiving treatment at the hospital. The president has awarded 650 of these awards since 2002.
And the president told us today that he is open to the idea of a second round of government stimulus checks to try to jumpstart the U.S. economy.
The White House says that all depends on the details of legislation drafted by Congress. On Capitol Hill, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said he too was in favor of another round of stimulus checks. Bernanke said the size of the stimulus check should be, quote, significant.
Concerned about the average person. That's my only motivation for what we're doing. Should the Congress choose to undertake fiscal action, certain design principles may be helpful. Serious slowdown in the economy, which has very significant consequences for the public, and whether it's called a recession or not is of no consequence.
We have more details on the president's visit to Central Louisiana and Alexandria today on the website. Front page, it's open day and night at kalb.com. Coming up next on Nightside, early voting.
We're going to be able to get most of your money back. And the reason I say that is because the government is really making investments, and obviously making investments in a difficult period for our economy. And we're big enough and patient enough to be able to hold these investments.
Meanwhile, the idea of even more government money being pumped into the economy is getting support from one of the country's top money men. Chief Washington correspondent Jim Angle reports.
Lawmakers who want a new stimulus package to boost the economy got some encouragement today from the chairman of the Federal Reserve.
With the economy likely to be weak for several quarters and with some risk of a protracted slowdown, consideration of a fiscal package by the Congress at this juncture seems appropriate.
The question, of course, is how big a stimulus should be and how the money should be spent. On the size, some lawmakers have been throwing around pretty big numbers.
The Democrats have already come out with their preferred option, a bloated $300 billion spending stimulus package.
And some tried unsuccessfully to get Bernanke to endorse a number.
What size should an economic recovery package be? $150 billion? $300 billion?
Bernanke declined to give a particular dollar figure, but offered some broad encouragement.
150?
If you undertake a fiscal package, given the slowing of the economy, I think it should be significant, but I can't give you a number.
Several lawmakers worried about increasing the deficit, meaning spending money now that will have to be repaid by the next generation. If that's going to be the case, several said, why not get something lasting?
We're talking now about investments in infrastructure, which could actually build things, tangible assets for a long time, and create jobs.
Bernanke said infrastructure pays a return to the economy if it's well invested, but may not help in the short term.
Infrastructure projects take a long time to plan and develop and get. And once the project starts, it takes a number of years, so that the actual implications for near-term activity are limited.
In my district, schools, roads, bridges, water treatment projects are waiting to be done. Permitted, designed, ready to go. They lack the capital.
There was plenty of discussion about the federal rescue package for the financial sector, aimed at getting them to lend again. Though most agree it had to be done, many now say it's time to do something for others, such as financially strapped states.
We need to provide them with direct support, especially for Medicaid, for food stamps, for unemployment benefits, and for infrastructure projects that are ready to get up and running, which will provide jobs, income, and revenue. As far as the rescue plan is concerned, Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson announced today the government is now inviting smaller banks to apply for federal funds, like those invested in 9 large banks last week.
By doing so, they will increase their capital base so that they can provide the lending necessary to support the U.S. economy as we work through this difficult period.
And he emphasized the administration view these efforts should not be seen as spending.
This is an investment, not an expenditure, and there is no reason to believe that this program will cost taxpayers anything.
On the stimulus, one expert told Congress today the quickest way to get money into the economy would be to make clear the tax cuts won't expire in 2010. He argued investment projects take 3 years or longer, and many are on hold, waiting to see what the tax environment will be. The White House said again today the president is open to a stimulus, but that it depends on what Congress decides to put in it. Brett?
They want to see the details.
Absolutely.
All right, Jim, thanks. News